Okay, darlings. How was your Friday night? I was like, not really gonna do a YouTube video tonight, but I just could not help it. I mean, honestly, I was like, is this for real? Then again, I mean, I don't know. So, is Beyonce ignoring her half brother? Is she? Or is she just like keeping it private? Because she's ultra private. And we begin with, where is the love? Is this the question of Beyonce's half brother? Is it? Is this something he's asking these days himself? Or at least since he's known that his sibling is a famous superstar? Worldwide, okay? From that field of vision, it may seem harsh. The indignity of having your kin not recognize or show affection towards you, but is this illustration showing a clear picture? For instance, Beyonce, as we all know, again, is ultra private about her personal life, save for when she harkens to instances in it in her song lyrics. And is it really the best route to try and get her attention this way? Speaking to the media about this private issue of her and her brother's lack of responsibility? Look, it may not be a great deal for some, but for those who have had to live through the trauma of their parents' marriages imploding because of a third party, and which illicit affair happens to produce a child from that entanglement, at the very least, it leaves permanent scars. And whether the assertion of Miss Alexandra Wright, this being the mother of Beyonce's brother, through her father, Matthew Knowles, that she didn't feel guilty, Miss Wright, per the New York Times, the New York Post article. Miss Wright says that she doesn't feel guilty about sleeping with a then, at the time, married man because, according to her, Mr. Knowles hadn't been in a functioning marriage and had been in a fractured marriage for a long time. So, really? I mean, maybe if like Beyonce's family wasn't well known then, maybe then you could claim ignorance, right? But at that time, Beyonce had already, reached a level of popularity and like stardom that, I mean, a lot of people, if not everybody, knew, her family dynamics, her parents, her sister, and things like that about her life, her personal life. So, for, again, her dad's, Beyonce's dad's mistress to say that she didn't feel guilty then about sleeping with him when he was married to Beyonce's mom. I mean, ooh, wow. Wow. That's gotta sting. Still. That must still sting. Sheesh. And it's like, you're dragging Beyonce, but you're not actually like apologizing for causing her and her sister pain. And their mother too. And I hope that she now feels some pang of guilt because now she is also a mother herself. And according to her, her child is unable to live his life normally because he is aware of his relation to Beyonce by way of their shared father, it's a sad, sad refrain. Ultimately, the children do pay for the wrongs of the parents. And I'm sure it's never easy to see your child cry. I mean, who would want to see their child cry, right? Like, you take a bullet for them, or the entire, like, magazine. Um, or, like, you don't want to see your child lonely. You don't want to see them low or feel bad about themselves. However, again, hearkening back to Miss Wright choosing to sire a child with Beyonce's dad, who she knew at the time was still married. And she didn't then see anything wrong with her choice. She claims that they even had a joint account, a bank account, and joint credit cards. And once those were cut off, she left. So it's difficult to empathize with her when she knowingly walked into, again, and you walked into with her eyes wide open and stayed in for a couple of years, according to her, and ultimately allowed herself to become the party responsible for the ultimate implosion of a family structure. Again, there were children in this, so those little hearts broke into millions of miniature pieces that only those children can see and feel. And for them, it may still be raw, even after all these years. I mean, it's not to like say that I don't feel bad for Miss Wright and her son having ended up homeless for some time. Nobody wants to see that happen. And to have had, for her son to have had no contact with, nor receive any child support from his father, Beyonce's dad, also is unreal, but it's not unheard of. And that therein lies the hard truth. It's like she was good enough to be a side chick, per Beyonce's dad because he kept her around, but wasn't good enough to marry her or to raise a child with her. It's a bitter pill to swallow, of course, but how does the expression go again? Once a cheater, always a cheater. A zebra can't change his stripes, or the tried and true expression, one will stay true to one's nature. I have to commend Miss Wright for picking herself up. I mean, you give credit where credit is due. Picking herself up from homelessness and now is running her own business and purchasing a home for herself and her son. Her grit, her willpower, her dedication to rise above their personal economic downturn will surely be an example her son will look to years from now as he begins to traverse his adult life. But I have to say, if Miss Wright wants her son to have a semblance of a normal life, speaking to the media about his provenance isn't going to ever be the best way. At all. Plus, you're dragging the wrong person anyway. Beyonce didn't have a child with you. Her father did. So drag him. And leave everyone else who are not responsible for this mess out of it. Right? Am I right? Or am I right? So anyway, darlings, do leave your comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And try not to bash me. I am not at all famous. Remember, you are all fabulous. We are all fabulous. So stay as fabulous as you are. Leave grace for others. And remember the journey and gratitude. And I will see you fabulous people on the next one. Totally for now. Ciao.